Hey gang, this is going to be a raw and unedited video. I'm going to pause every now and then, but I'm cooking up a batch of my vegetable beef home stew here, and I wanted to do like a little instructional video on how to make it. But as you can see by the weather outside, and when I stop talking you can actually hear, we've got a line of severe thunderstorms that keeps hitting us here, so knew I wouldn't be able to get like a really clean recording. So I'm going to do kind of like an abbreviated version. I'll give you the full ingredients list in the description of what I'm putting in. Anyway, I've started off. I'm over here on the stove. Got my crock pot set up. There we go. Get the crock pot in the picture. Let me grab my spatula to move aside the carrots and celery. And you can see I got stewing beef down there at the bottom, which I have already seared. I season and sear that and dump it, including the juices, into the pot. And the rain is going to pick up again. I diced 4 carrots and 4 large stalks of celery. Those are in there right now. I'm also going to add, hard to see here with the grocery bag, some cilantro. I love cilantro. That's optional for those of you who don't really care for it. I will be doing a portion of onion right here. And of course, one of the main ingredients, cabbage. You want to use a head of cabbage depending upon the size of your cooking. I'm using a kind of medium-sized crock pot, so I get a medium-sized head of cabbage. That will get cut up and put in the pot. We also have canned corn and canned peas to go in there. And I also add potatoes about halfway through the cooking process. If you put them in too early, you can see all the trimmings in the sink there. Put them in too early, the potatoes get really mushy. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right now. I'll prep the rest of the ingredients and get them in the pot. Okay, resuming briefly right now, I'm going to show you how I dice up the cabbage. I put that in a strainer, vegetable colander, and I rinse it thoroughly before I put it into the crock pot. Alright, next step is some diced onions here. I'm probably going to put in a little more than what I'm showing in this video, right in this image, this shot right now. But onions go in next. I've already put the cabbage in the pot, as you'll see in a moment. Okay, here's the next set of ingredients. I did forget to mention the petite diced tomatoes. You don't want them with any kind of seasoning in them, or maybe you do. I use the plain ones and season the soup to taste, or my stew rather. And as you see, a can of whole kernel corn and a can of sweet peas. And you're going to take those, and I've already put, as I said, I've already put the cabbage in the pot. I'm going to swing around here. You're going to dump these into the pot, juices and all, like so. There's the peas. Okay, I'm going to spin around again. Hopefully I'm not making everybody too dizzy here. Grab the corn, same thing. Boom, pop that right in there just like that. Okay, you're not going to worry about compacting everything too well here. What happens is once this starts cooking, the cabbage cooks down and gives you some space in the pot. Right now, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space. I'm going to rinse off the spatula and kind of compress that down a little bit. So I'm just going to press that down just a little bit to help give me a little bit more space for the diced tomatoes that have to go in. Again, diced tomato can, juices and all. I mean, admittedly, there's not a whole lot of juice with the diced tomatoes, but just put them in there. I'm cooking this in a crock pot, which I feel is the best way to do it. You don't have to cook it in a crock pot. You can cook it in a regular big stock pot like that one over the stove. If you want to make a really big batch of this and just scale up the ingredients list I'm going to provide. Okay, so those are all in now. What I'm going to do now is put the lid on and start this. I'm going to start it off on high because it's kind of late in the day. It's about 3 o'clock and I had wanted to start this around in the morning. And I ideally want to have some tonight. So I'm going to start it on high and then turn it to low after about an hour or two after it really gets hot. Like I said, everything will reduce down once it starts cooking. The cabbage will reduce down, the level of this will go down. At that point, I've already added the onion, which is approximately 1 cup of onions. And then I will add my cilantro and potatoes later and also season it with, I use garlic powder, oregano. You can throw a bay leaf in there if you like, if you're into that. Maybe a touch of basil probably wouldn't be bad either. And, pardon me, just feel free to experiment with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this video. We're going to make this part 1 since I showed you the basic setup here. Like I say, I'll get the crock pot plugged in and cooking. And I'll come back and film a part 2 where I add the rest of the ingredients and I show you how it turns out.